We are now live streaming. We'll wait to record in a second. And we're now recording.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, my name is Tracy Metzger. I'm chair of the IDA board. I'd like to call to order the IDA annual meeting. As standard practice, the minutes of our previous annual meeting were distributed, and unless there's any questions, we'll look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you, Darius. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Susan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, we just actually have one item of new business. It's the annual election of officers, the approval resolution. Obviously, this was previously distributed as well. So we have a resolution approving the 2021 election of officers of the City of Albany IDA. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Darius, do I have a second? Anthony?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sitting here reading. I apologize. Yes. I second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Oh. Sounds good. Resolution has passed.
Thank you very much, everybody, for serving. Laughing notwithstanding, thank you for serving in those roles. Appreciate it.
So as I understand it, we have no other business, Sarah?
No other business for the annual meeting today.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Darius. Do I have a second?
I
Second.
second.
Susan, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay, meeting number 1 is done. All right, let's now move on to the IDA regular meeting, which I would
Let
like
me
to
check, Tracy, just for 1 second, let me just check. Joe, Scott, are we okay to just continue rolling with this recording and live streaming, or should we stop and start a new one?
We're fine to continue. Yes.
Perfect.
Right answer, Joe.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, Chair.
Okay. So with that, I would like to call to order the IDA regular board meeting. The minutes of our meeting last month were already distributed. Do we have any questions or concerns on those minutes?
So Tracy, I found just a couple of little housekeeping or grammar. The last line on page 1 says board members commented that.
Thank you.
And the first paragraph on the second page, there's no space between "and noted" on the first line. And then in the third line, the public hearing to be held, not he held.
Nice work, Lee. Appreciate it. So with those changes, do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
So moved.
Okay. I'm sorry, who made that motion?
Darius.
I'll second. That's fine.
So Darius was first, Lee was second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, Mark, financial report, please.
Thanks, Chair. So in the month of December, we did receive some modification fees totaling $2,500. Other income for the month was the interest income received on the bank accounts of $1,500. The expenses were approved in the 2020 budget. So with that, the IDA ended the year with almost $2.9 million.
Thank you, Mark. Nice way to end the year. Okay, any questions there? Thank you. All right, we're going to move into unfinished business, the Clinton Avenue Apartments home leasing project. I will now move into the waiting room as I recuse myself, and I think I'll turn it over to Andy initially. Thank you.
And again, Tracy has previously disclosed a conflict with the property, and so that's the reason for her recusal.
All right.
Sorry, Andy, go ahead.
Thank you. So we have reviewed this project application previously at the Finance Committee. A public hearing was held previously as well. No comments from the public were received by the agency. What we typically do here, unless anyone feels otherwise, is I will quickly just go through the staff project summary, which again, we've been through a couple times before. And then if there's any other outstanding questions or concerns, we can address those before engaging the resolutions. The project at hand proposes to revitalize 6 properties on Clinton Avenue in Arbor Hill. It includes the historic preservation of 4 vacant homes and the adaptive reuse of a vacant school building. And in addition to the construction of a new 3-story mixed-use building that will have 61 residential affordable housing units and approximately 12,000 square feet of commercial space dedicated to the Albany Center for Economic Success. Coming down in our summary to the revenue gain to taxing jurisdictions, status quo, if there were no project to occur over the course of the requested assistance, the tax and gain to the jurisdictions would be just over 30,000. The projected impact of the pilot payments is 1.6 million. Large net gain there. The property value increase will go from its current value at just under 600,000 to $3.79 million. This is an estimated total investment of $23.9 million. The project was based on the nature of the request and it being involving affordable housing. The project was not evaluated through our project evaluation assistance framework. However, for comparative purposes, we do that scoring sheet. I could do that again if you'd like, or I can skip over that. I will defer to the board and CEO on that. If we want to do that, we can jump into that in a minute, and we will go through the community benefits. And it's important to note that due to the special nature of the request and the fact that it did involve a deviation in affordable housing, there was a third-party review that was conducted, which an executive summary has been made part of the previous board and finance committee materials as well. This job is projected to create 17 permanent positions and approximately 150 construction jobs. There's no more questions. I would turn it back over to Sarah and/or Tracy.
I can pull myself off of mute. Thank you, Andy, for that. And so as Andy had said, this has, actually would still need Tracy to head back into the waiting room.
She should be in there now.
She actually just popped back up on screen.
So she still needs to be in the waiting room?
Yeah, she does.
Thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome. One moment, please.
I thought that was too quick.
We're almost there, Tracy. Great. Thanks, Nicole. So we, as Andy had mentioned, this has been fully vetted through the Finance Committee. It received a positive recommendation from Finance to the board for the resolutions in front of you today. To clarify, as Andy mentioned, we do look at these projects outside of our project evaluation and assistance framework. However, we use that as a guide. And so we did look at the community benefits. You can see the cost benefit analysis in the packet as well. But we did also, just for information's sake, score it through the matrix scoring system as well. And it performed incredibly well. You've seen that in previous summaries as well at Finance. So in front of you today, we do have a suite of resolutions. Andy's wrapped up the project synopsis, and we would start with the seeker resolution and get that motion on the table if there are no further questions. We can have discussion after the motions are on the table as well. if you'd like, I can go ahead and just call for a motion on
Yeah.
the seeker resolution.
Yeah, I'll make that motion. This is Darius.
Darius, do we have a second?
I'll
I
second.
second.
I do want to say just a couple things. This project is great. It's going to add and improve affordable housing in the city. It's a blight to betterment project, and it is a anti-gentrification project. I think it's important for the public to know that.
Okay, we would call for a vote on the seeker resolution. All
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion for the seeker resolution carries. Next up, we have the commercial retail findings resolution, which you'll also find in the packet. I would take a motion to put that resolution on the table.
So moved. This is Darius.
Second, this is Susan.
Thank you, Susan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Bob, just to clarify, that was a motion in favor or a
That
vote in
was-
favor?
That was a vote in favor. I am.
Thanks, Bob. All right, that resolution is carried unanimously as well. And then next up, we have the pilot deviation approval resolution. I would take a motion to put that on the table.
So moved.
Second, this is Anthony.
Great. All right, at this point, we do typically pause to discuss the fact that this is a project seeking a deviation from our UTEP, our uniform tax exemption policy. Again, you do have the cost benefit analysis as part of the resolution in your packet, which details the costs and benefits to the community and the taxing jurisdictions. As Darius mentioned previously, some of the other items that had been brought up through previous review of the project were the project's financial need, the fact that it is affordable housing with direct access to downtown, that this is a renovation of blighted and vacant properties, as well as the support of a small business incubator that directly targets disadvantaged businesses in the city of Albany. So all of those items have been discussed and included as rationale for deviation, and the deviation letters have been appropriately distributed to the taxing jurisdictions. Any other discussion on this motion?
Nope.
Okay. Seeing none, I take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Great, motion carries unanimously. And the final resolution in your packet is the approving resolution to extend these benefits to the applicant. I take a motion for the approving resolution.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Second.
Lee. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Sarah, if I may, just for the record, draw everyone's attention to Exhibit A of the approving resolution, the description of the project evaluation and expected public benefits, which is included with every approving resolution we do. And ultimately, the majority of the material contained in this document will be built into the project benefits agreement.
Thanks, Sandy. All right, any opposed? Seeing none, the project is unanimously approved with Tracy recusing as well. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Adam and team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great.
Absolutely.
We're excited to see this move forward.
Thank you so much.
We can bring Tracy back in. Fantastic. All right, Tracy, we have wrapped up with unfinished business and we'll turn it back over to you for new business. You're on mute, Chair. Thank you. Sorry, I did the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it automatically goes to mute.
Yeah.
So fair enough. Okay, our first order of new business is TMGNY Albany 1LP, and we have a resolution authorizing the execution by the City of Albany IDA of certain documents in connection with a refinancing relating to the TMG NY Albany LP project. I know we discussed this in the Finance Committee. Do any board members have any questions? If not, I'd like to go ahead with a call for a motion, please, to approve.
Just to add, Chair, there's no mortgage recording tax exemption being granted here. We're being asked to sign solely by virtue of our interest in the project. So there's no benefits being extended, and there's no liability being incurred by the IDA.
Understood. Thank you, Joe.
I'll make the motion, Tracy, Darius.
Thank you, Darius. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second. Okay.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Lee.
Lee, thank you, Lee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Resolution passes. Next is the Rep LLC. Joe, do you want to just give us a little context here?
Tracy, before we get into this, can somebody put me into a meeting, a waiting room? I'm recused on this matter.
Sure can. Thank you, Bob.
I'm sorry, who was that needs to be put into the waiting room?
Bob
Robert
Schofield.
Schofield.
Thank you, Nicole. This resolution was also discussed at the Finance Committee meeting. The REP is a project that we've entered into a straight lease transaction with. We approved a mortgage for this project. As outlined in the attached letter, they need the mortgage recording tax exemption in connection with the project and that mortgage. When they made the original ask, they thought by virtue of the state involvement in the financing that they wouldn't need the mortgage recording tax exemption from the IDA. It turns out that they did need the mortgage recording tax exemption from the IDA. We've approved that through this resolution, and it's all consistent with the original project description, the original public hearing notice, and the original estimates of the amount of the benefits being extended to the REP. So this action confirms prior action by the IDA, and that's the background to the resolution, Chair.
Thank you, Joe. With that, the resolution ratifying the execution consent by City of Albany IDA of a certain mortgage and related documents in connection with the REP LLC project. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. This
Make
is
that.
Susan.
Oh, okay.
Susan, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Lee, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Resolution passes. Awesome.
Nicole, if you can bring Bob back in, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, please bring Bob back in.
Should be back in today.
Bob is back?
He's back.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, with that, our next order of new business is the annual housekeeping resolution for 2021. Sarah, you just wanted to do a quick overview. We've, again, reviewed this, all of this information at our Finance Committee last week. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. I have you turn your attention to Schedule A is really the important piece of this housekeeping resolution. What this does annually is affirm a number of appointments and policies of the agency. The policies that you have listed under Schedule A, those are all policies that have been previously reviewed at the appropriate committees and recently either adopted or refined by those committees. So there are no changes past what you've seen previously there. The appointments in question today are the confirmation of our regular meeting schedule. Any exceptions to that have already been posted on the agency's website, and those would be things due to national holidays or otherwise. You have appointments of the Chief Executive Officer and staff to the agency, the appointment of the accounting firm, agency counsel, bond counsel. You also have committee appointments listed in the packet as well, and the contract officer and investment officer. So you can see all of those laid out in Schedule A, along with the policies that are in our policy manual and bylaws. And so with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Tracy.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, with that, I have a resolution approving certain appointments and administrative matters of the agency. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Anthony?
Anthony, a second, please.
Second.
Darius, I was worried there for a minute. Somebody might
He
be
was on a
their
roll.
committee appointment. Yeah. Okay, okay. All those in favor, please.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Resolution passes. Okay, next we have the presentation of the annual investment report, Mark.
Thanks, Chair. So in front of you is the annual investment report that we need to report to the agency yearly of the balances and December 31st. Pretty easy. The agency only invests the agency's funds in a checking in money market account. So as you can see in this report, the checking account balance was 44,000. The money market account was 2.8 million. Just a note for that, the money market account is the one that earns interest. So we keep as much money as we can possibly can in that money market account, so we can earn the highest interest we possibly can throughout the year. One thing to note, interest income was slightly less than 2019 due to rates going down throughout the year in 2020. And just to note, the firm of Thielbecker and Shamanti will audit the financial activity of the agency, and it's expected to be completed as of March of 2021.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, next we have the property acquisition and disposition report. Mark, I think this will be brief.
Yes, the agency has no property at December 31st.
I guess we just reconfirm that each year, huh?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We're just going to jump ahead to other business. Sarah.
Sure, thank you, Tracy. Under agency update, we have a couple of things. Thank you to all of you for responding related to the EDC meeting that's going on right now. We do have 4 board members participating in that, along with a number of staff members as well. That sponsorship has also gone through, so you will see the IDA's logo and branding throughout is supportive of ongoing training for economic development across New York State. And then we have today, we're attempting to get back to normal as much as possible and move back into sharing some of the good news on ongoing projects with the board. We have a presentation today. I believe Virginia is going to walk us through one of our recent projects in the Park South neighborhood. And so Virginia, if you'd like to go ahead and share your screen. Great. Virginia, if you're talking, you are still on mute, so just a heads up.
Sorry about that. Thanks, Sarah. So I'll jump right in. The project update for today would be the Reserve at Park South 2. This is a final picture of the project. So our project summary, just to remind the board, the project consists of the revitalization of 4 vacant parcels on Dana Avenue. The proposed project, now completed, excuse me, included the construction of 45,000 square feet apartment building containing 36 market rate residential units for a total investment of over $5 million. Some project highlights from Mr. Ron Stein. The project was able to be completed ahead of schedule, even in the midst of COVID. Some other highlights include that they provide higher quality and bigger units than their competition locally. The fact that they've maintained a positive relationship with Albany Medical Center has also helped them keep their apartments leased up. Mr. Stein also reported that The reserve at Park 2 is 100% leased up. And he utilized his Blue House management company that provided video tours as well as took the helm on advertisement. Some property amenities, the dog park, you can see here below. There's also heated garage for parking. Some other amenities include the putting green as well as the roof deck. Residents also benefit from short-term and long-term leases, on-site management, on-site maintenance, central heat and air conditioning, high-speed internet, and 24-hour emergency maintenance. I've provided some property interior photos for the board to review. These are, the next 2 slides are property floor plans for the reserve at the Park 2. So some COVID ramifications, he was able to complete the project ahead of schedule. However, he did mention that it was hard to get consistent workers as well as material costs increasing. And then, as you may know, he just recently purchased the property on Madison, and he plans to continue his development within the city of Albany, which will continue with the reserve on Washington Park. And I think that is the update.
Very nice. Thank you, Virginia.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So,
Virginia, the picture of the rooftop deck, was that a rendering or was that an actual photo? Do you know by chance?
That was an actual photo.
Nice.
What, the putting
that might be
green
the
league?
first putting green.
I was interested in that too, but I wasn't going to say it.
It's a unique amenity in the city at this point, for sure.
Yeah, well, it sets them apart. They're smart.
I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself? You went out.
Sorry, Virginia, I think we were all just commenting on the putting green being a unique amenity, and we do see a number of our multifamily builders looking to differentiate themselves, the rooftop deck, the putting green, and as Virginia mentioned, 100% leased and looking to continue to invest in the city and particularly around the hospital to help support that cluster of jobs and industry there.
Thank you. Sarah, do you have any other business?
I want to keep saying the word compliance because we're in the thick of it. So we are working through that now. Virginia and Andy are moving forward, starting to get responses back from applicants, and we'll be packaging those for you and bird dogging any potential issues early so that we'll be ready for the March submission.
Sounds great. Thank you, Sarah. At this point, I will ask staff to leave as we move forward with the Capitalize Albany Corporation matter.
I'll
I'll
ask-
excusing myself from that discussion. So if you could
Thank
put
you,
me into
Susan.
the, are we cutting out or are you going to put us into a waiting room?
Nicole, we
putting
are.
you-
Oh, perfect.
I'll be putting you into a waiting room. Who was that who just spoke?
This
That
is
said she
Susan.
wanted-
Thank you,
Susan,
Nicole.
okay. And what's your, oh, Susan, okay, got it.
Thank you.
Give me 1 second.
Nicole, it looks like you've moved everyone over that should be moved over. Just let us know when you're ready to go. Oh, I'm sorry, Tom is still there.
And
Sorry.
myself as well, Nora.
I'm working on it.
Yep,
Thanks.
okay, great. Yeah, no rush.
Virginia as well.
Sorry, Tom, I saw you right there, but I
That's
looked
okay.
looked right through you.
That's okay. And I'm also going to highlight Ashley Mole as well.
Thank you.
And Mike Bone.
Looks like Virginia, yeah.
Just to confirm, I don't see Tammy Fanfa. Is that true?
That's correct. Tammy is not on.
We just still have Tom and Virginia? Or Tom?
Does that look like everybody?
I think Nora as well.
Yes, Nora as well. Thank you.
So that should be everybody, if someone can confirm that.
So any CIC staff still on? Okay, I think we're good to go, Chair.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, with that, the Capitalized Albany Corporation Liberty Park matter, we have 2 resolutions to consider today. We did review this information at our finance committee last week at length, but I think I'll toss it over to Joe just for a brief recap, and then Chuck. So Joe, take it away.
All right, thanks, Chair. And as the Chair introduced the topic, we're moving along the process. At the November meeting of the IDA, we adopted a resolution taking preliminary steps with respect to the condemnation proceeding, including the scheduling of the public hearing. We held the public hearing in December. At the Finance Committee meeting last week, we reviewed findings and a draft findings resolution and a draft seeker resolution. Those are the action items for today's meeting. I do think it's appropriate for us to go through those 2 matters, at least at a 50,000-foot level. And with that, I'll pass it on to Chuck Malcolm, my partner, to go through the 2 resolutions. They need to be done seeker first and the finding resolution second. And with that, I'll pass it on to you, Chuck. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. As Joe indicated, Article 2 of the eminent domain procedure law requires a public hearing, and subsequent to that requires the board to consider and make findings pursuant to Article 2 of the EDPL. Before that can be done, the law requires that the board comply with the State Environmental Quality Review Act, or SEQR. That resolution, as Joe indicated, needs to be considered first. If in addition to the SEQR resolution, there's also parts 2 and 3 of the environmental assessment form with proposed responses for the board's consideration. The part 1 of the environmental assessment form, which generally describes the action, was submitted with the application materials and as part of the record. The resolution also includes, the SEQR resolution also includes a Schedule A, a proposed negative declaration or determination of non-significance. That would indicate that the board's determining that there will not be a significant adverse environmental impact as a result of the action, and that a draft environmental impact statement will not be prepared. The rationale and the specific details regarding how the agency is treating this particular review is set forth in the document. After that resolution has been considered, and assuming the board approves of the negative declaration, also enclosed is a resolution making the agency's findings pursuant to Article 2 of the eminent domain procedure law. Article 2 of the eminent domain procedure law requires the agency to address certain factors in making this determination. Those are set forth in the draft findings and determinations set forth in Schedule A of the resolution. The Schedule A of the resolution includes an introduction and background on existing conditions and a general summary of the proposed action and project, the public use, benefit, or purpose that's served, the approximate location for the proposal and the reasons for the selection of the location. In addition, a discussion of the general effect of the proposed project on the environment. As we just talked about, a lot of the environmental issues have been addressed in the proposed seeker resolution, which have been incorporated herein by reference. Although this particular provision requires also consideration on the general effect to residents of the locality in addition to the environmental issues, which has been addressed. And then other factors that the agency considers relevant, among those some issues that were raised during the public hearing. As Schedule B to the resolution, you'll find a synopsis. Article 2 of the eminent domain procedure law requires, after the determination and findings are made by the agency, that a synopsis of those findings be published and served as required by statute. And that synopsis has been proposed for the board's review and consideration in its entirety, so that the board is aware of and approves specifically that description that gets published and served. And with that, I will turn it back over to Joe.
So I'll just underscore what the chair said, that these resolutions were reviewed at the Finance Committee meeting last week. Obviously, we're open for comments or questions from the board. Chuck and I and Dick is here also. So we're available for questions, and then back to you, Chair, for a motion on the seeker resolution and then a motion on the findings resolution.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, I'd like to move forward with the first resolution determining that action to undertake the acquisition of certain parcels of property located in the city of Albany, New York for the Liberty Park project will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Darius.
Darius, do I have a second?
Second, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Resolution passes. The next resolution is the resolution making determination and findings concerning the proposed acquisition of certain property located in the city of Albany, Albany County, New York. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Darius, do I have a second?
Second.
That would be Lee. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Resolution passes. Thank you.
Tracy,
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
We mentioned
Yes.
at finance, but I appreciate all the detail and all the work that went into the resolutions by all the staff and all of the councils. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lee. Okay, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
All right, Lee went
Second.
first that time. Darius second.
Second. Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Meeting's adjourned. Okay, we'll bring back the staff, please, and move forward with the CRC annual meeting.
Chair, this is Chuck Malcolm. I just want to confirm that I'm excused at this time.
Yes, you are, Chuck. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Chuck. Thanks, Dick.
Well, yeah.
So at this point, I'm going to stop the recording and the YouTube live stream for the IDA meeting and then make Mark the host so he can run the CRC meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thanks for all the logistics. We put you to the test today.
I think
for sure.
Nicole might be going to get a cocktail. These Zoom meetings are not easy.
No.
No.
They are not. They are not.
Right, right.
You know, I just realized when we were trying to sort out who was going to be removed, it's almost like playing the old game, Guess Who?
Do they have a mustache? Are they wearing red?
Mark, since you started the YouTube live stream, am I able to end that or are you going to do that?
No, you can go ahead and stop it, and then just make sure to make me the host before you leave, or the meeting will officially end.
Sorry, and while we're waiting, can the person with the phone number 518-225-2434 identify yourself for the record? Oh, and they've dropped off.
You scared them.
I wrote it down and I can give them a call to clarify for the record.
Okay, Mark, I'm not seeing how, on my side, how to end the YouTube live stream.
Right by the YouTube, there's a little arrow on the top left-hand corner of the screen. If you just click on it, there's a drop-down list to stop the recording.
I only see that it says view stream on YouTube or copy streaming link.
Okay, if you want, you can make me the host and I can go ahead and stop it.
I'm sorry.
No, we appreciate your assistance today.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.